Alrighty, everybody, let's finish DSP versus the internet, episode 87. Let's see what you guys have in store for me for the final part. Here we go.
Greetings, a bit of an LGR house.
Oh, this is bad. So, Lazy Game Reviews, who we've watched videos of over the last 2 years that I've done this show. He's done food vlogs, he's done tech stuff. His house was completely destroyed by the hurricanes down in North Carolina, I think. So, this is not good. This is going to be a pretty messed up video, actually, I think.
Situation update and the collection and things. Got a bit of an update on that, too. We'll get to that. Just wanted to post something here and
look at this.
Show that, yeah, the house has been boarded up. Thank goodness. It is hopefully not going to get too much worse in terms of weather and other things getting in here. But, yeah, it's just boarded up and tarped temporarily until more work can be done. There's gonna be
and he's not even in Florida. He was in, what, North Carolina, right? It's not like, oh, it's his fault because he's in Florida that he got this bad weather. He should have known better. No, he was states over where they weren't expecting this kind of crazy, you know, damage to homes because of the weather.
A lot of it, but yeah, just recorded this footage earlier and doing some voiceover here after the fact. I wanted to show you a bit of downstairs because this was a huge concern for me, but for a lot of you as well. I've gotten a lot of questions like, how is the collection? Well, this room right here was not the main collection room, but it had a lot of the big boxes and computers and just a bunch of things in it. Floor to ceiling. I've pretty much cleared it out. And it did get a little bit of water damage coming through from up top, but I don't think a whole lot. Definitely nothing got wet down here. It was highly humid, but not super wet. But yeah, pretty much from here beyond, it's all wet and soaked. Just ceilings, floors, walls, all kinds of stuff.
Lady Christmas says, yeah, North Carolina is very inland too, so no one was expecting that. That's crazy.
There's
that sucks so hard.
Obviously a bunch of leakage you can see through the ceiling upstairs, and we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, this area is mildewing and molding rapidly. There was water all
That's
the way.
Also the problem when there's insane water damage in a house. Now, not only do you have to dry it out and clean it, but there's going to be mold. So now you got to have experts come in and like do all this special treatment to your house to make sure the mold is gone too and it's not growing. Like, that's insanely expensive. This is going to cost them a fortune.
Up to this point, just a couple inches or so, it looked like. I don't know. I left the house pretty quickly when it was all happening. And yeah, this was the main collection room for my hardware. And this, if you've seen the footage and have shown in previous videos of all of the shelves and racks of stuff just full of things. There was a big old table here that I used to demonstrate stuff. And yeah, it was just coming in through the ceiling, through the vents. The rain was just obviously doing its thing because there were 2 trees through the roof and rain was coming in and getting everything wet. So yeah, the mold set in pretty quickly, as you might expect, because no power and no dehumidification and just all kinds of stuff was soaking here for, I don't know, a couple or few weeks it's been at this point. Yeah, these were some of the shelves that were really molding up. It was disgusting. I am down here with a mask, by the way. I don't want to be breathing this, but yeah.
And you heard what he said. This is just downstairs. 2 trees crashed into his house, so it's going to be way worse when he goes upstairs.
It was not only coming in, leaking through the ceiling from the rain, but through the vents there as well, and just dripping down, going all over the place.
No, serious. This is going to be a full home renovation. He's going to have to rip out anything with mold. He has to rip it out entirely. These walls have to be re-fucking built.
Yeah, mostly just the front and back of the room, and thankfully the ceiling did not cave in or anything. It seems to be structurally sort of there. I don't know. It's not up to me to decide, but yeah, you can see the humidity is still at around 72% here. So that's not ideal. I tried to keep it at 40% year-round with dehumidifiers and all that, and it's never gotten much higher than that. And unfortunately now, yeah, it very much is. Heading upstairs though, and this, you know, while it's mostly just my personal living area, didn't do a lot of business up here. I mean, there's still retro things, and my hobby and my passion, my collection extended up into this area. So this was the living room, and it is now much more open than it used to be. You can see my bookshelf full of knickknacks and whatnot there. There used to be windows there. and a couch and tables and a chair and a
Wow.
TV and
Look at
an
the
AV
size of that
setup and
hole.
laser discs and consoles and
How
computers
big
and,
were
you know,
these
all my
trees? He must have had trees that were like towering over his house that came over. Like that's the worst luck possible. Oh
entertainment.
my God.
And now it's just opened up to my attic.
Wow.
And that was another concern as well. Just wanted this on there so it wouldn't, I don't know, just stuff go across into the other room through the attic opening there. So I'm very, very glad it is now closed up. But obviously it's still a dang mess. And you can see where the trees were really resting, I think, on the back of the house right there. There's that back wall and then sort of the support joint or whatever that is on the left. And they thankfully came to rest in the living room floor and didn't fully go through. But yeah,
Wow.
obviously the entire roof and everything just caved in here. And yeah, came down unfortunately on my little arcade machines collection and the large arcade machines, the Acer there. I don't know. I'm hopeful that some of these things will be cleaned and maybe get to work again. I don't really know. I haven't looked into anything yet. The laser discs, I think that's, I mean, it's cardboard sleeves, right? And they were exposed to the elements for a while,
Oh.
so they're rough. Going past what's left of my couch here near the hallway, where a lot of my stuff was pushed into that was in the living room. And yeah, the visible damage kind of stops here, but who knows what's underneath. Obviously, there was stuff leaking through the floors in terms of rainwater, VCR right there, my PS1, and a
Wow.
bunch of games that I just pulled out of storage that I'd forgotten I had. I was playing through those a couple weeks ago. Sims 2 stuff, because I was working on a Sims 2 retrospective, and some other just random things. There's my Steam Deck, and some VHS, and some recently thrifted stuff, a little robot guy, PS5 controllers, other just random electronics and things that had just come in the mail that I hadn't even opened yet. And there's my TV. Don't know how that is holding up. My gaming PC is right there,
All
the wood grain
completely
thing.
covered in dirt
Speakers
and
and the Laserdisc player.
God
There's
damn.
the PS5, Analog
Wow.
Pocket, Retro Tinks, my Switch, all kinds of electronics. This is all just getting rained on.
So he
and
had to
covered.
evacuate. I'm being told basically what happened was the two trees hit his house. He had to run away, obviously, and he had to evacuate, and he wasn't able to go back for several weeks. So you're talking about weeks of water and dirt and shit just going in your house.
And gunk from the attic and the roof and the trees. But yeah, here's the area that we've been using for just kind of staging and prep for getting all that stuff out of the basement that wasn't damaged. Huge thanks to the kind friends and family who've been offering their assistance through this. It's been very much needed. But yeah, these are the things on these shelves out here that are just drying out, and they were the ones that were in the main collection room and all got rained on through the stuff leaking through the living room and down into the basement sort of area.
Wow.
All kinds of different retro things. There wasn't any real rhyme or reason to the spots that got hit with more water than others. It was just things were kind of in there, mostly projects that I hadn't yet gotten around to, unfortunately, but some of them you'll probably recognize. And yeah, these
So basically, I'm being told they were forced to evacuate before the storm when they found out how bad it was going to hit. So there was no way to know how bad your house was going to get hit. Damn. So messed up.
they're not fully soaked through necessarily, but yeah, it's a lot of cardboard and paper, documentation, floppy disks, stuff that doesn't do well with humidity at all, much less rain. But yeah, some of my tablets I normally use.
All right. Well, I feel awful for the guy. Again, this is not a situation where it's like, well, he asked for it. He decided to live in Florida, and we all know how bad Florida weather is. No, he lives in North Carolina. Like, they never get it that bad. So this is a freak thing that destroyed his house. I mean, the guy's been a YouTuber for over a decade and never had a problem. And now all of a sudden this becomes a problem. It's like, what the hell do you do? Now does he even want to live there? Right? Maybe he'll want to move after this. Who knows? But man, that's messed up. Okay.
Feel at peace for the first time ever. It's like waking up from a very long dream.
For those who don't know, Ranma 1/2 is incredibly old. Ranma 1/2 is a super old anime. I used to see VHS cartridges of this, or cassettes, for rental at Blockbuster Video. That's how old Ranma 1/2 is. But I've never seen it. I never actually saw the series.
Grandma! Oh no! Don't look!
We're really sorry.
What if I had been unclothed? Please remember to knock next time before entering.
Yes, of course. Huh?
So it's true, you really are acting weirder than usual.
Am I acting weird? I'm sorry. Ranma dear, how many fingers? 3 fingers. Do you know who this person is? My dear Uncle Tendo. And this is? Octopus Face. Good, and him?
Octopus Face? Wait, what? She called him Octopus Face.
An Oompa Loompa.
An Oompa Loompa? Wait, what? That can't be the real dialogue. No way. An Oompa Loompa? There's the... Like, that's incredibly insulting. How dare you call me an Oompa Loompa? Yeah, there actually is an Oompa Loompa emote from Kino Casino. Like, what the hell?
She seems perfectly normal.
Yes, nothing to be worried about. Tendo, how can you say that?
Yeah, and why do I have to be the Oompa Loompa?
Would you stop talking in that stupid voice already? It's making me sick!
But I thought all real girls talk...
I'm warning you, Ranma, don't you dare start up with me!
Silly Akane. I can't help it. I'm a woman.
What?
Yeah, isn't the whole premise of this anime that the person changes genders, like legit changes genders back and forth? I think it is. I think that's the whole premise of the show. And like, you know, in Japan, they're like, whoa, I can't believe the guy became a girl and the girl becomes a guy again, right? I think that's what it was. So we're in a 1/2, like you're switching back and forth between the 2 genders or something. I think that's what the premise is. When they get in a hot bath, that's when it happens. What the heck? What a weird premise. Oh boy, living with Jigsaw. That's not Jigsaw, that's Billy. The puppet's name is Billy, not Jigsaw. Did they not know that?
So, what's it like living with Jigsaw?
Not as cool as I thought it would be.
I want to play a game.
Okay, well, I want to take a shower, so...
The toilet has been clogged with 2-ply paper towels and dirty socks. If you do not fix it in the next 27 seconds, it will overflow, covering your personal electronic devices in filthy toilet water. To reach them, you must walk barefoot across a floor covered in razor blades. The clock is ticking, Gary. Make your choice.
The fuck? That was so
The
stupid.
wine
It
in
was
both
actually
your
funny.
glasses has been replaced with the blood of a 3-toed sloth.
Oh! He's gonna touch him.
Gary.
What do you want? Awake. What?
You are completely surrounded by armed mousetraps. The keys to your car have been force-fed to Bingo. You must retrieve them in the next 5 minutes using any weapon of your choosing from this open drawer, or you will not make it to the office on time. The choice is yours, Gary. Will you take the life of your best friend, or be late to work for the 4th time this week?
All right, that was good. I really like that one. How 2.7 million. Wow, it's old. It's 9 years old. It doesn't look that old. That was a good video. That was funny. But they fucked it up because his name is Billy the Puppet. That wasn't Jigsaw. But it was actually well written, and the jokes were funny and landed. Yes, that's what you need with humor. You need funny jokes. Amazing. It's like a new premise. Wow.
These tales, we're back to school. Denim, haircut, backpacks, come get your backpack.
Boots and pants.
New shoes, get yourself an outfit. Denim,
Boots and pants.
haircut, new shoes. So get yourself back to school with these tales. Haircut.
was good too. It was so bad it was good. We got a couple good ones. That was a couple good videos back to back. All right, Tales from the Bottle.
When you get in trouble with the law, it's generally a good idea to refuse to speak to the authorities without some form of legal representation. Just say you want a lawyer and don't say nothing else until you have one. That's because you're essentially playing a game where you don't really understand all the rules, so it's in your best interest to let an expert play the game for you.
True.
But what if you didn't speak to the authorities at all? Like, you didn't even let them know you wanted a lawyer. You don't even speak to confirm your identity. When they ask you if you're pleading guilty or innocent, you offer no response whatsoever.
Wow.
How would the legal
Quiet.
system deal with someone who refuses to communicate anything? This is the Silent Man. Not only does he refuse to allow a lawyer to play the game on his behalf, he refuses to play the game altogether. In fact, he seems to be playing his own game, the rules of which are really anyone's guess. He commits seemingly pointless crimes for reasons he refuses to elaborate on, and offers no defense when he's arrested. Not a single word does he speak. On the 3rd of December 2021, the Silent Man appeared in Swansea, UK to stand in traffic right outside Swansea Central Police Station. He stood in the middle of the road, blocking traffic, and refused to move or offer any explanation as to why he was there. When the police arrived and got him off the road, they asked him what he was doing. No answer. They asked him who he was. No answer. They then asked him if he was alright. Still no answer. This led them to believe that this fella was not alright, and they detained him under the Mental Health Act, probably believing they'd soon find out he was escaped from some institution. They searched him and found some identification. After looking at it, they said, "Here, hold on now a minute. Your name is David Hampson. You're not from the nut house. You're on release from prison. And you were in prison for standing in traffic, and you're here doing it again. What? In fact, you're in violation of a court order preventing you from doing this." The Silent Man gave no response, and the next day he was in Swansea Magistrates Court. When called to confirm his identity as 51-year-old David Hampson of no fixed abode, he remained silent. He put forward no defence, and when asked how he pled, he remained silent. Therefore, a plea of not guilty was recorded on his behalf. Hampson's criminal history dated back to 2014, when he was charged with 4 counts of willfully obstructing free passage along the highway. He was given a 2-year conditional discharge for this, but the following year, he violated these conditions by standing in traffic again, resulting in his first criminal behaviour order. When he continued to stand in traffic, he was given his first custodial sentence in 2016. He was imprisoned again in 2017, and again in 2018. And now here he was again. And just like all the other times, he didn't say a word. Now, it'd be pretty fucked up if this fella was, you know, not quite right, and they just kept sending him to prison without establishing communication with him. Like, can he communicate? Does he even understand what's going on? Maybe we should be figuring out why he won't speak before we just throw him in jail. The Silent Man was ordered to undergo psychiatric evaluation, but he would not speak to the court-appointed doctor. So how do you figure out if it's okay to imprison this fella or not, when you can't even figure out if he's okay or not? Well, the court brought in prison officers from HMP Swansea, where Hampson had previously served time. They testified that Hampson had no problem speaking, and they had conversed with him while he was an inmate. The court then determined that David Hampson was not mute by visitation of God, but rather mute by malice. He was found guilty, and during the sentencing, the judge scolded his breathtaking arrogance and insolence for his decision to remain silent. He was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison. When he was released in 2024, he stepped outside, took his first breath of fresh air as a free man, and put his best foot forward on his way to return to the exact same road to stand in traffic again. He is now back in jail. So that leaves us with a few unanswered questions. Well, really just one. Why? Why is he doing this? If he can talk, then why is he not talking to the authorities as if he's trying to stay out of trouble, but then intentionally breaking the law in the exact same way over and over whenever he gets the chance? Like, he obviously knows by now that not talking isn't doing him any favors, and blocking traffic seems like something you do in protest.
All right, so since it's gonna be Halloween soon, here's the spooky Halloween season take. It's like one of those sci-fi shows, or maybe like one of those horror anthology shows. He's doing it because he has an uncanny feeling something bad will happen there. And so one day he's standing in the middle of that road and all the traffic's blocked. So they clear the block, right? They arrest him. And as they're taking him away, a meteor comes and strikes and makes a big crater. And if he hadn't stopped traffic, everyone driving through the intersection would have died. But because he knew something was going to happen there, he prevented the accident. There's your Halloween month plot. There you go. Yes. That's a good story. That would have been a great story. In reality, it's probably just an asshole, you know?
But if you're not going to explain it, then does that not kind of defeat the purpose? Well, there is an answer, but you're not going to hear it from David Hampson. Thankfully, he has a brother, John, who confirms that David is not actually mute. According to John, he never stops talking. John claims the only reason David keeps standing out in traffic is to go to prison. He just wants free meals and a roof over his head. Now, I don't really want to believe that for two reasons. One, the motive is being given by David's brother rather than David himself. And two, the idea that someone would have a more comfortable life inside prison than outside is really quite sad. But not wanting to believe something is true does not make it false. And this is a fairly sensible explanation. David stands in the road because it's an easy way to break the law without hurting anyone, and then refuses to speak to the authorities because he doesn't have to. There is nothing to negotiate. They have no leverage against him. They have nothing he wants. He just wants to go to prison. Standing in the road brings him to prison. Talking does not. So he stands in the middle of the road and he doesn't talk. If this is the case, that means David Hampson really is playing the game his way, and his playstyle is very efficient and very effective. He has a single winning move that he plays over and over until he wins. So far, the justice system has had no answer to this playstyle except to allow him to win and then claim his victory as their own.
That's awesome. All right, I want to watch one more video for the week. Let's see what the next one is. This will end the show for the week.
Hey, old man. Give me everything.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me!
Imagine a tree that grows its fruits.
All right, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Let's watch one more because this one's only 30 seconds.
Straight out of its trunk. Sounds magical, right? That's the jabuticaba tree.
Whoa.
This amazing tree from Brazil produces grape-like fruits that cling directly to its bark, creating a stunning and unusual sight.
That's wild.
The dark purple fruits are sweet and juicy with a slightly tart flavor.
By the way, it's another AI voice. I can recognize AI when I hear it. So it's a little tart, a little sweet, kind of a grape. Yeah, it looks like a grape, except it has a white meat inside, which is kind of interesting.
Perfect for making jams, jellies, and even wine. Though the tree takes time to bear fruit, the wait is worth it for both the taste and the unique look of its trunk covered in shiny edible jewels.
Wow. Oh? Okay. Well, we're out of time for this week. I'm curious how many videos we watched. Let's see. We watched 1, 2, 3. Well, we were to watch that, but we already saw one, so we'll count it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That was stupid, but we'll count it. 12, 13, 14, 15. Not bad. We watched 15 out of the 23 submitted videos. Not bad at all. All right, so folks, as I explained, this is the final countdown for this show. This show has had a good run in the 2 years I've been doing it. As you guys can definitely see, its level of interest has definitely waned. People aren't that interested in the show anymore. I get it. A randomized show where you don't know what you're going to see isn't as appealing. I've seen a lot of the clips people have wanted me to see over the years already. So, today was number 1. We're going to do 3 more shows of DSP versus the internet. Episode 90 will be the final episode, and then the show will be retired, all right? However, I am going to do more React content on this channel. It's just going to be more long form. I want to go back to watching longer videos, video essays, documentaries, being able to spend a whole afternoon just watching one subject matter with all of you. I feel like that's more meaningful. And so, plan on that, probably starting, I would think, sometime in December. And we have to think about how we want to start that project and how to make it work for, like, move forward. How can people submit stuff for it? You know, how do you vote on what you want to see? We're going to talk about it soon. But thank you for watching DSP versus the Internet episode 87. Next week, we'll do it all again. If you're a channel member, don't worry. I will be submitting the thread again tonight for you to post up your videos for next week. And Mr. Jupel, last moment here, did a $5 super chat. And I appreciate that very much, Mr. Jupel. No new threads will be placed up tonight that everyone must place must nominate clips in. Okay, it doesn't carry over. Someone just asked, does it carry over till next week? No, you'll have to resubmit your clips for next week into the new thread that will come out tonight. Okay. All right. Lipsian said, well, what about only doing it once every month or two? The problem with that, Lipsian, no one's going to become a member of this channel just to have a video watched every month or two. And the whole show is based on member submissions. So there's no way we could do it like that. You know what I'm saying? You see? So we have to figure it out. But I think we will do something long form. And I think it'll work out long term. I think mixing it up makes sense. 2 years of the same show. It's time to mix it up a bit. Okay? All right. But anyway, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Peace out.